Is the game. The world is watching a red-hot rivalry at any time. Chance, he's got a goal! Great moment for Liverpool, and Cody Gakpo headed in by Darwin Núñez. And Gakpo, they're climbing Manchester United apart here. Breaks for Salah, who dispatches with vigour. Another one for Núñez. It's 5 here. Salah, it's 6. Liverpool lift off to extraordinary heights. Oh, that's the one they wanted. Bobby Dazzler, Bobby Firmino. It's one for the history books. Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0.
Look at that collapse from Manchester United. But before we do, let's listen to what Erik ten Hag, the Manchester United manager, had to say about it.
I'm surprised because I have seen the last weeks, months, a team what is resilient, what is determined, what is really had a winning attitude. Second half, we hadn't a winning attitude at all. Didn't stick to the plan. We lose our heads. And we didn't do our jobs. And defense transition, and you know how good they are in transition. But we're just not running with our opponents. We didn't track back, and that's really unprofessional.
Well, unprofessional is the word. No footballer likes to be labelled as being unprofessional. Glenn, did you think at 3-0 down, Manchester United were?
I think they lost their emotions as a team. I think this particular team was continental players in there. There's a lot of South Americans in there at this moment in time, which is fantastic when things are going well. I think emotionally, at 2-0, 3-0, they felt the game was over and they lost their heads. They didn't have someone that was going to pull them together like in yesteryear might have been Ince or Keane. They didn't have that sort of player in there. Casemiro, I don't know how good his English is. He's the sort of player that could do it. For me, unprofessional, yeah, they were unprofessional, but they lost their emotions in this game. And that's when they lost their focus and their mentality, and it all just went out the window. They were Jekyll and Hyde from first half to second, without any shadow of a doubt. And I looking at the game as it was unfolding, I'm saying, you've lost the plot here. You've lost the plot. Emotionally, they were all over the place. They could have been sent off, a couple of them, very easily. And I think that's the sort of arena and Anfield, Manchester United, Liverpool, that's where they would learn a lot.
Well, let's take a look at, well, certainly the fourth goal we'll start with. It came from a Manchester United corner. I think maybe they were still feeling that they were just about in the game. If they get the next goal, maybe, but they left themselves completely unexposed. And just want to highlight these two players, Garnacho and Anthony on the edge of the penalty area. The reason you're on the edge of the penalty area is, yes, to make sure if anything comes out, you're in positions to pick up the second ball, get shots away or maybe. But the other reason is to make sure the opposition can't start a counter-attack, Glenn.
Absolutely. That's a more important position than you would imagine. I used to say to players, you know when you see cricketers, when they walk in, they start walking, don't they? They're walking in and the ball's being bowled. They're on the move. They're on their toes. I used to say to my players, go deeper. End up where you are there, but be on the move.
There and be on the move.
So you're walking in like a cricketer does, you know, in the covers. Yeah. Looking for that ball. Now, you're on the front foot, you're moving, and that for me worked a lot. So, but your job there really is to stop the counter. Yeah. To make sure you recycle the ball or actually put it back into the penalty area by hook or by crook. That's your job. If you're lucky enough that it comes out and you get a shot in, that's the second phase. Here, that has got to be one. That ball's come out of the Liverpool. Look at the amount of Liverpool defenders in the penalty area, and that's their job. They've got to go. One of them's got to go and win that and be strong. Let's have a look if we play it. Yeah. But if they're on the move on the run, they actually jump higher than that. Salah just knocks Garnacho off the ball quite easily there.
I mean, that header's won, and United have, what, 5 players?
Yeah.
And only Mo Salah is ahead of them. And yeah, as you've just said, Anthony doesn't win this header, doesn't react to it. And look at the difference now. Look at these Liverpool players that have all run this way. Those United players, I don't think have actually moved. maybe 3 or 4 yards. And then when you're talking about professionalism and tracking back, these two, the reaction of these two to try and influence this goal from here is frightening for me. You see those players react around them just quickly before you go on. There they are. There they are still. Here and here. They've gone from within a second to being 2 of the deepest players to being 2 of the most advanced. So Liverpool get forward, but Tomley's unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, he is unfortunate. Comes off his hip there and it just falls to Salah, who finishes it with a plum. It's like on his right foot. But the reaction, the first ball, there's 2 phases to that. Go and win, do your job on the edge of the box. Yep. Go and win the ball. Be strong enough. He should have been blocking Salah off. Garnacho, win the ball, keep it recycled. And then the second is the reaction, and I think that's where they're unprofessional, if you like, in the sense of how they haven't got back into a deeper position.
Yeah, I mean, and this goal, you know, concede a set piece. You actually defend the first part okay, but the principle is stop crosses. The header's been made. Surely somebody, and it's Marcus Rashford, is the closest here. You've got to get out and apply pressure, and if you don't, you allow the opposition an easy cross of the ball. How Henderson, how easily he's just got there without pressure, and then, I mean,
but again,
brilliant.
If you stop that there, look at that. If you took that ball to the corner flag and said it was a corner, that's how United and most teams, that's a zonal marking for a set play in free play. But look at Núñez, look at the space that they've got here. And all he doesn't make any clever run. He just makes a bit of movement towards the ball. Now he's on the run. He's got the momentum. He can jump above any defender in the world, really, set up like that. You're on a hide into nothing. That's why I don't like zonal from a corner. But look, he's got to run a beautiful leap. But for me, what a wonderful header. He knows the goals don't move, Leon. The goals don't move. He actually heads it off the back of his head. Brilliant goal.
It was a brilliant goal. And at this point, I mean, I don't think Ten Hag necessarily avoids any criticism, because at Anfield, when you're 3-4-0, maybe even 5-0 down, to take one of your centre-halves off. I know he was on a booking, but to move Luke Shaw into centre-half and put Malacia left-back, I think you're making that easier for a team that have momentum to score. But Liverpool just took full advantage of it.
Well, the reasons were yellow cards, and Martinez, he felt, was going to be sent off. So he's thinking of the next game. He's not thinking about trying to get back in this game at this stage. So why not would you not go into a back 3 and go into a back 5 and say, look, we're just not going to concede anymore. This could turn into a 7-0, which it did do. But at the end of the day, I think that's the stick or twist as a manager. When's the moment where you think we're not getting back in this game?
Yeah.
You know, you see miracles from 45 minutes maybe, and there's certain games you can go back and blah, blah, blah with 20 minutes. I was involved in one in Swindon. But at the end of the day, I think if he was going to make them changes, why put Shaw in there, who I think had been booked as well? So it was a strange decision, that one, for me. If he was going to shut shop and say this enough's enough here, put Maguire on and get a back 5.
Will he learn from that?
Listen, I believe after it's the worst team to lose 7-0 against. This could be a magnificent position for the manager. I think he will use this for them now. We thought we were a good side, boys. Yeah. We're not. We've got to improve. If we don't put the hard work in, this is what happens in this league. And I think that's a rebound. I think you'll get a rebound from United. They might learn more from this game than Liverpool. Yeah. It's a funny thing to say, but I think they might actually go again from this game.
I think you're right. And, you know, Manchester United, as we said, made changes. Malacia came on into that left-back position. I've highlighted Harvey Elliott because he gets so much space without actually doing an awful lot. Sabitzer got sucked into this position, left him exposed. Malacia stays in, and suddenly, obviously, without doing anything, Harvey Elliott gets all that. Any issues with the defending from that point?
Well, that's a prime example of what I'm saying about losing your head, losing the emotion in a game as a team. They were all over the place. No communication. There just needs to be an easy shout from Shaw for the fullback to get out earlier and close down. But they were all over the place, and that's what happens when you lose focus. Look at that for a clearance from Shaw. He was having a wonderful game first half. Yeah. I'd sit him down today and say, look, there's your clips from the first half. There's your clips from the second. You never do that again as a professional. And he'll learn from that. He'll become a better player.
Well, you hope so, because, I mean, they won't suffer many defeats like this. I mean, even now, Malacia in this position. Salah's there. They've got a bit of possession, and he's off, leaving all this space at 6-0 down. And it's no wonder if you keep making basic mistakes that you keep getting punished against a team that is that is flying the way Liverpool are. And you know, the icing on the cake for them was Bobby Firmino just announced he's about to leave Liverpool at the end of the season, scoring the 7th.
It's wonderful that he got the goal in front of the Kop as well. You know, he's been a fantastic player for Liverpool, leaving at the end of the season. But that was that little clip we showed there. United players at the time, they didn't know whether the manager's saying we're going to try and attack and still get another goal, or are we going to shut shop? That was proof of how they were playing at that moment, and the players weren't making a decision on the pitch. That has to come from the bench.
Well, they definitely weren't on the pitch. And this is, you know, when we talk about unprofessional, the first way we generally tend to look at it is how much they run. And the Liverpool stats, they didn't change from first half to second half. United's possession didn't change, but this did. the distance that they covered first half to second half was down. Would that be something that would concern you if you were the manager?
That percentage would have been chasing the ball as well.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't have been making runs off the ball because we're in possession. Don't forget, you know, when we say about running, we always think it's hard work, but it's running off the ball to receive the ball that went out the window, as well as they didn't put the hard graft in. So covered distances are a little bit fast to me sometimes, but that would have been defensively having to run, so it would have been less.
Well, a humbling day for Manchester United. Let's go and talk to Leroy. Let's take a walk over. Sorry, Glenn. And talk to Leroy. Maybe try and lighten the mood for everybody if you possibly can, Leroy.
Well, can't for Man United fans. I bet Liverpool fans are going to enjoy this because it's about Mo Salah.
Yeah.
And got to tip your hat to him. Unbelievable. 129 goals. He's a top Premier League goal scorer for Liverpool. But look at the names on there, Glenn. I thought Luis Suarez, but the minutes per goal, I think, is so impressive. He scored a goal every 132.8 minutes. I thought Suarez would, because Suarez scored an unbelievable amount of goals in a short space of time. He's ahead of him as well.
You know why, in my opinion, is that piece that we've seen. This Liverpool side, since Salah's been there, press high up the pitch. They win the ball in the last. When Michael was playing and Stevie G and other players there, they weren't doing that.
Expect the start, certainly to the second half, and you know, within 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, Liverpool just took the game away from Manchester United.
Yeah, United fans, look away.
Look away.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the whole team, really. The whole team came out with a different head on. As I said, they should have been coming out in that tunnel saying, we're well in this game, get a goal and anything can happen. We're playing okay here. We're doing more than okay. They look like they've personalities, their players, they just became a different team.
I think this clip actually shows the difference in attitude from both teams. The press from these players, all getting forward, all on the front foot, trying to commit Manchester United. I think it's Gakpo. It doesn't actually win the first ball, but he sets the tone. And Manchester United, on the opposite of that, are so slow and laboured in possession. I don't think Liverpool do loads in possession to create the goal. I think it's a comedy of errors from Manchester United more than anything else.
Yeah, but it's also these two guys here, the two wide men, they're in poor positions. When that ball's that's allowing Liverpool to press them and outnumber them and go 1-for-1 up the top of the pitch. These lads should have been on the half positions. They should have been deep. Yes, get the three up the top once you've got the ball through to midfield. But at the distance they are, he's never going to get the ball. He's never going to get the ball. Look how the distance they are as a team. And in the end, it allows them to press, and then they give the ball away. That was a poor pass. Shaw, for me, was a weird one because he was excellent first 45 minutes. Second half, I don't know where he'd gone. His head had gone. This is not particularly a great creative goal.
No, not at all.
There again, Shaw again's got to do better, but what a ball.
Just set the tone for both teams. Exactly. I mean, as you just mentioned, wanted to highlight Harvey Elliott in the team. Jurgen Klopp said after the game against Wolves, because of his ability to help the press from Liverpool, and that's exactly what they did at the start of this half. But missed tackle again. Varane doesn't move his feet. Shaw's too narrow. Liverpool don't do much. Bad decision, off his thigh, no reaction. I mean, we could go on and on with that goal.
No disrespect. That's looking at a schoolboy game. That was an under 10 game. What would happen if we can freeze frame this around about now? Bit more, please. About now, freeze frame that. If someone said to you, Liverpool are going to score from here, you'd go, you're having a laugh. No chance. Liverpool are going to... You mean Man United? No, Liverpool are going to score from here.
Yeah.
And then we run it.
I mean, it's very good from Manchester United, but you're right, they're in a good position. They're on the attack themselves.
Yeah.
But I just felt that from this moment, there was too many errors. It's brilliant from Liverpool, but an error from this man in his decision to cross the ball. You'll see soon an error from this man.
Yeah,
he
Casemiro's
goes
the key.
diving in.
Yeah.
A couple of moments later, there's an error from Shaw because he makes a run, and it's just...
Well, Casemiro was in a lovely
there.
position to put pressure on.
Luke Shaw somehow, for some reason, makes that
inside.
run in there rather than maybe
Play
the
with
run
Salah.
back there.
Yeah. But then Shaw again, watch him. I mean, this is where Salah turns Martinez inside out. But Shaw has got no idea. He's not looked over his shoulder once. It's a fabulous finish. Capco's finish was outstanding. But look, Shaw, got to look over your shoulder. Got to have a little glance. Is there a danger behind me? I've now become the centre-back because the centre-back is doing my job as a left-back. He's got to then revert, and he's played centre-back as well, Shaw, recently. So not one look. He's surprised. Look, when the ball's played, he's thinking, where's he come from? He hasn't got a clue he's there.
I mean, there was only Salah and Gakpo that thought that pass was on. And afterwards, it's an absolutely beautiful finish.
Oh, it's a fabulous finish. It really
and that
is
was,
quality.
I think that was the moment that, I mean, it's a beautiful finish. That was the moment that the game was won.
Yeah.
I think that from that moment,
Yeah.
Liverpool knew they'd won the game. So we'll get to what happens and the reaction from Manchester United in a moment. Let's just take a walk over and have a chat with Leroy. Didn't go well for Manchester United there, Leroy, did it?
No, it certainly did. It didn't go well for Albertus. He sent me this in, Leon. He said, I missed the Liverpool United second half due to needs to be a theatre rehearsal. Boy, did I miss the second half. Albertus, if you want theatre, watch Liverpool at Anfield. You get all the theatre you want. And you know what? Again, it was a great performance by them. Do you think this is going to maybe just give them a real good chance of finishing in that top four now?
I do. I think they've got some momentum on the back of that game. I think, they know it's unrealistic. They're not going to win 7-0 every week, but against United, of all people, that, if anything, is going to give them that real belief now. They look like the Liverpool of 2 or 3 seasons ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
They really did. It's now a question of can they hang on to that? Can they keep playing like that and be that aggressive with the ball? And they were certainly superb on the day.
Well, look, I know a lot of Man United fans weren't dancing off the back of that result, but I did spot some Man City players dancing this weekend. Didn't see that link?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Just to have a look at Rico Lewis here, just before this goal goes in, he's like, is it going to go? No, 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 it's in, there it goes. Well done, Rico. But this was Simon Hooper. Just see him in the set. Is that David Brent from The Office? What's that? Yeah, all right. Well, that's Simon's got some moves. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, the referee showing some real fantastic moves.